Hello, hello, and welcome. My name is Maya Joy, and today's video is just a simple reminder for all of you empaths and highly sensitive souls across the planet. I'm so honored to have you listening today. And today's video is sort of a distillation of, I think, what I've been learning in my own personal life as someone who works full-time as a psychic and is super, super high on the sensitivity spectrum. And that is the importance of honoring how others make us feel. Oh my goodness, you guys. In my own life, I think for a very long time, I've been working on just maximizing the amount of compassion that I have for other people. And as empaths, I think so often when a person is around us, we can really see the best in that person. You know, maybe we have that friend or family member and, you know, we don't feel so good around that person. But we understand, you know, they're going through a lot of difficult things in their life, maybe, or we just have like the ultimate compassion for other people a lot of the time. What I have learned, like in my own life and my own journey, is how impactful other people's energy can be for us as empaths, and how important it is for us to really, really honor our sensitivities and to take really good care. As empaths, we often, I think, take on this unspoken responsibility of solving other people's problems. It's like, oh my God, no, that person is like sad. Let me make them happy. Let me try to make them feel better. Oh, that person is negative. Let me try to make them smile, or let me feel their negativity with them so they're not so alone, or all of these different things. And there's something beautiful in that skill. One thing that I have realized is that skill can be misused. So that skill to be able to, you know, go really deep and like feel what another person is feeling is meant to be used for those people who are healthy individuals. Like, it's meant to be used for those people who are healthy individuals. So the truth of the matter is, right, as we walk these human journeys as souls, you know, temporarily experiencing this earth plane, all of us have bad days, right? You know, I mean, like, let's hold space for that to become untrue. But like right now, it's pretty much true. Like we often, like, you know, we'll have a down day. Your skills as an empath are most beneficial for somebody who's having a down day. You know, someone who is a healthy individual, but they're having a down day. And one thing that I've had to learn the hard way is that sometimes when we're in the presence of someone who is having a down day and we want to help them, the best thing that we can do is just to let that person know that we understand. So what do I mean by that? I mean, what I mean is, like, let's say somebody's venting and just, you know, they're really putting out maybe a lot of an emotion that's of a lower vibration than what we would wish to experience. Sometimes the best thing that we can do is just say, I'm so sorry that you are feeling this right now, and I can't make it better for you. But I'm sitting here with you, you know, or I'm here with you, you know. This has been like my great learning during this time, is real, but like, and also being so honest with our own self, especially in a time like this that we're at on the planet as empaths, like being honest with ourselves about whether we are in a strength of vibration or life force energy whereby we can actually be in the presence of someone who is at a vibration significantly lower than ourselves. I have just learned so much on my own personal journey about the importance of self-care, and how the greatest thing that we can do as empaths across the planet is like really to take such good care of ourselves that we find ourselves holding a frequency of love or contentment or joy, and then just to live like with our hearts open and walk around in this world as beacons of higher energy. I've known this, I think, for a while, but I've really understood that as much as we want to uplift other people who are in a lower vibrational state, that's not always the best choice if it ends up pulling us down in the process. So I think we were given this amazing gift by a higher power to be able to feel into what other people are feeling, to help those people who are having a down time but can bounce back. But where the issue becomes a very strong issue is when we're in the presence of people who are having a bad day every day, or otherwise any individual with whom we always feel not quite right. My perhaps greatest learning of this past year has been that it's okay to leave that person who makes us feel uneasy, to leave them to take care of their own problems. Like, this might sound like a really obvious understanding, and yet, like, for me, as somebody who is immensely sensitive and desires to help others, it's taken me a really long time to learn that no matter who a person is in our life, like if I always feel uneasy around that person, then I need to honor that. And I need to keep my distance energetically and vibrationally, because it's one thing to sit next to that dear friend or even stranger when we can really feel they're in a down place, but we know in our knowing center like that we can just, just by smiling at that person or giving them a little love or reassurance, like we can help uplift them. It's one thing as empaths to extend a helping hand to someone like that. But if we continuously extend helping hands to people who have a strange or unusual or negative impact on our energy field, they'll ultimately end up pulling us down. And unfortunately, there are people on the planet who are habitually in a very dark place and are, I think, in that dark place because it gives them attention that they like. And this has been like such a learning for me. And that's okay, because that's their life choice. But as deeply, deeply kind and sensitive and caring empaths, those people can begin to occupy our lives, because the truth of the matter is when there's people like that and they're making us feel uneasy and we try to uplift them, but then they habitually go back down, the next thing that we know, like that person like is taking, 80% of our energy or whatever the case may be, because unbeknownst to us, there exists in this world individuals who are using their emotions to garner attention because maybe they don't know any other way, right? Or they're just not able to be uplifted, or our own body, mind, or heart simply feels uneasy in the presence of those individuals. And I think, I've learned so much. I just finished my Saturn return. Some of you will know that. And I just learned the importance of honoring how I really feel. As empaths, we can get lost in like the feelings of other people. That's so true for me. Like when I'm in the presence of any person, I pretty much feel their feelings predominantly over my own, unless I'm really conscious. This can be such a phenomenon that I can even find myself like taking on totally new interests, hobbies, etc. if I spend a lot of time with a person whose field is very strong and who like really strongly exhibits those interests, hobbies. And guess what? This can be like an amazing thing if I'm around somebody who's centered in love and understanding and who's just like a great person. However, it can be an immensely problematic phenomenon if I'm around somebody whose energy field is distorted in some way. And I think like we should be more aware, or it would benefit many of us as empaths if we were more aware of how other people made us feel as we walked around in this world. And if we began to discern the difference between individuals who are genuine and healthy and who are just having a down day and just need, they just need that. Sometimes all we need to do as empaths is just be centered and love ourselves, look that other person in the eye and just give them a little smile and just say, I know you're going through a hard time right now, and I just have a feeling that, things will get better for you, or showing compassion in whatever way. But discerning between those people who are just in a little down period versus those people who are living their entire life in a down period. And perhaps unbeknownst to themselves, finding some sense of identity or meaning and purpose in the attention that they are able to garner from highly sensitive individuals like us. And sometimes our mind, can't really discern the difference. And I think this is why, as empaths, we've got to honor, we need to get to a place like where we honor our own feelings above the feelings of others. And I feel like if somebody's listening to this and like you're not an empath, you might be thinking, are you serious? Like, what are you talking about? How could you ever honor another person's feelings more than your own? But I'll tell you, in my own journey, that's 100% been the truth. I often find myself just bending over backwards to act in unspoken ways that I know another person wants from me. I'm so sensitive that I know exactly what other people, even if I've never met these people and they're on the other side of the world, I know what they want me to say to them. I know how they want me to interact with them. And often I'll go out of my way to act in the ways that that other person wants because I'm so aware of how they feel. Even if it, in the past, had completely disrespected myself and my own feelings or level of energy at that time. And so we just had this great Saturn-Pluto conjunction. And in many ways, to me, like today feels like the new year, even though in actual fact, the new year is like 10 days from now. But I feel like a new year has dawned. And one of my own personal commitments to myself at this time is to honor my own emotions at a higher level than I ever have before, and honor how others make me feel, and give myself permission to distance myself from people who, over a long period of time, make me feel uneasy for some reason, even if I don't know what that reason is. Just to be able to be like, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. It's not necessary to be the light for everyone, and to be more discerning about under what circumstances I choose to be, choose to share light. That's one of my desires for myself. And I hope, I think for most of us, if we're really honest as empaths, we can probably identify at least one person in our life, maybe a friend or family member. And it's like that we kind of know that person might have us in their life, mostly because we make them feel better, but maybe they're never doing the same for us. And it can be hard because I think as empaths, highly sensitive people, we want to be a nice person. We really my number one objective every day is do the most good I can without doing any harm. I want to be a good person. I want to live in love, and so sometimes I get in these little situations and, maybe my body or heart responds, really negatively to a person, and I just kind of override it. And I just kind of say, oh, you know what? Let me just be nice. This person is my blank or blank or blank. You know what? Let me ignore my own feelings for the sake of theirs, because they really want this thing from me right now. So let me just give it to them. And I think the intentions of this sort of behavior for us as empaths, the intentions are right, but fundamentally we've got to honor the fact that we're much more sensitive to energy, and really take good care and really begin to discern whether we are just habitually helping everyone in need or giving them emotional energy, or whether our heart and soul is really aligned with helping that other person. Because one thing I've realized is like the really deleterious effects of when we like, and in my own case, like go out of our way to help another person or uplift them emotionally or otherwise, when some part of our being is not aligned with doing so. When we do it at the sake of our own personal boundaries or honoring our own emotions. It's never okay to honor the other person's emotions more than our own. So I think as empaths, we have to be aware of how that other person's emotional field is really affecting us and give ourselves permission, no matter who that other person is, to give ourselves permission to not intervene or not help a person if like our being is fundamentally giving us a no on that. And being aware of the people in our lives, and sometimes these can be like in the workplace or, just out in the world, who are having a bad day every day and who are kind of black holes of empathy, where you kind of give them give them some good juju, some love, and like it seems to just be a black hole, like, and it just goes nowhere. And the next day they're still having a bad day, they're still having a bad day, they're still having a bad day. One thing I have realized in this world is like there are people who can help those people. But it's not us. Like, it's not empaths. There are people who, like, those people need assistance from others who are not highly sensitive, who are not going to be affected by their energy field. And luckily, 3 out of 4 people are not an empath. So that's wonderful. So we can allow the people who are not an empath and are not going to be influenced by the habitual negativity of certain individuals to assist those individuals. We don't have to help everyone. So I just invite all of you as empaths to just become way more discerning about where you give your love. We have so much love to give. First and foremost, I encourage everybody to take care of your own self first, and do what helps you to feel like so good and so like filled up with love and joy first, and to know some days you might need to give all that love to yourself and none to anyone else. And that's okay. But once we do have enough love to give, like we have cultivated that energy within ourselves, to be so discerning about who we choose to give it to, and to honor that deeper part of ourselves who knows when someone isn't quite healthy for us, and to no matter who that person is or what they want from us, to give ourselves permission to move away. And to sometimes the best thing you can do when someone is habitually in a bad place and seems to be a black hole is just to, actually just ask the divine to assist that person. We have amazing gifts as an empath, but we're not always able to heal everyone. So sometimes we just got to ask, God, source, the universe, the angels, whatever higher power you believe in, if it's in divine alignment at this time, please help to uplift the spirit of blank, I think it's a sign of wisdom when we know when our own intervention is actually not in the highest good. And yeah, I guess this is what I wanted to share with all of you today, is honor how other people make you feel. And begin to identify those people in your environment whom always make you feel a certain way that you don't prefer, and begin to give yourself permission to not engage with those individuals, or at least, like, if you have to engage with them, and sometimes we do, to allow them to not be in love or joy without needing to fix it. How about that, right? Without letting it affect you, right? Just to be able to discern, that seething negativity right there, that's not me. And I know this person really wants me to say this to them or help them in this way. But in the past when I did that, they just were in the same negative state again the next day. So you know what? Let me actually just allow that person to be in their own energy. And let me go over here to this animal or child or friend who always gives to me with love, who's having a little bit of a bad day, who can actually, become uplifted by my love and then go on to live a healthy life for themselves, right? Like, so anyway, you guys, I don't know, but I hope that you've enjoyed listening to this today. Empaths are so amazing and our gifts are so beautiful. And I hope here in the coming new year in 2021, I can share more of what I've learned myself as an empath about like how to navigate this world in a way that helps others but doesn't harm ourselves. So anyway, have an amazing day whenever you're listening. Sending everybody a big hug. Be kind to yourself. Remember that your number one person in this world that you need to love is you. And don't give to others until you've given enough to yourself to be sufficiently vibrationally strong, okay? Have a wonderful day, many blessings, and namaste.